Hello everybody, this is Domenic from SA Capital, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Ethereum USD. So as many of you guys know, the market has been through a very slow time the last few weeks. We had a large correction off highs from Bitcoin and many other coins, and since then we've had about a 21-day consolidation after those lows were set. Most coins corrected 50 to 80% from their all-time high or high that was set around the time of May 10th. And as we can see, Ethereum has dropped nearly 60%, a little bit over 60%. And many of us are wondering, what's next? Is the bear market over? Is the bull market going to continue? Or kind of what's next for the cryptocurrency market? And as Ethereum controls a lot of the altcoins and Bitcoin controls pretty much every coin, we kind of like to look at Ethereum for a good analysis of what is kind of happening with the overall majority of the altcoin market. So as we can see here, we have held a very important trend line, and this is what I'm going to start the video off at because I believe this is very, very important. And that trend line is this one right here. This trend line is being respected for nearly 150 days, so almost half a year have we respected this trend line. And the fact that Ethereum has held this trend line is a very good indication that there most likely is more potential upside for altcoins in Ethereum. Not necessarily Bitcoin, but altcoins in Ethereum. And as we can see here, we've had many bounces off of this trend. There's been nearly, let's count them right now. There's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's been 7 bounces off this trend line. And this is a very, very good sign that we've been holding this. And as we can see, we whipped off of it the last day, and it tells us that there is going to be a revival. And right now, I'm going to draw my major support and resistance zones. So for purposes right now, just to kind of focus in on this price movement right here, we're going to draw our first zone right here at 1934. It is a very, very important support. We have another one at 2103. There is another support at 22. So this is kind of a range, but I like to put 2 because it kind of respects the top one, but also sometimes wicks to the bottom one. And then we have another very important one right here. As we can see on the day chart right now, we have wicked right off of it about 2400. The next important one, which we are testing right now, is at about 2560. As we can see, resistance here, resistance here. Once it broke, the price shot almost 50%. And right now, we had support hold for the last week, and then the last 4 days we broke through, and now we're trying to regain this again. So if we do end up breaking this important resistance at 2575, our first target is going to be at about 2800. Right about 2800 would be the reasonable target for the first kind of revival off the low. After that is broken, our next one would be about 2900. This right here is what Ethereum has been stuck under for these past few weeks. As we can see, we've just been consolidating, and we're looking for a breakout either below this trend line right here or above this important resistance of 2900. And once this resistance can break, we'd be looking at something like this. And then once this breaks, we're getting a push right to about 3300, because as we can see here on the way up, Ethereum did not make really any support or resistance. It didn't play here at all in between this whole entire zone right here. So this is what we call liquidity void. It means there's not much liquidity there. It respected on the way up and it respected on the way down. So we expect it to happen the same time. If we do break above this, we'll be seeing a push of roughly 10% to 3,300 from about 2,900. And once that occurs, we will have to reevaluate and see if we could break our important retracement on the Fibonacci, which is right around the 0.618 and the 0.702. It starts at 3,300 and then it ends at about 3,600. If Ethereum can can revive off this low, test this, and break through, then that would be a major confirmation we're going to get a new high sometime later this year, and it's going to be good for the rest of the altcoins and the whole cryptocurrency market as a whole. So with that being said, I'm going to now take a look at some indicators. On the day chart, as we can see, which is a very good sign, that the RSI on this last drop that occurred right here, the RSI did not drop anywhere near it did on this drop right here. We saw this, we hit levels about 34. This one right here, we hit about 44. And as we can see, we've had resistance at the 50 mark. This dotted line right here is the 50 zone. Anything below is considered a bearish, and anything below is considered a bullish time. So if we could get the break above this, which is also, in my opinion, going to be confluent with the 2800, 2900 resistance, it's going to be very good for the Ethereum chart. And if we look at the stochastic RSI right here, as we can see, we revived off highs, we started coming down, but we very likely are going to get a curve. Once we take a look at some lower time frames, we might be able to see a little bit more on that aspect. But before I go over to the lower time frames, I'm going to delete this stuff right here, and I'm going to put on the moving averages because these sometimes give us a good view of kind of what's happening. So as we can see right here, the 100 MA has held the price very well. We had a wick on it today. We wicked below it, but we came right back above it. So this is a good sign. And the 50 MA has provided resistance, which this is right at about that zone I'm talking about, 2800 to 2900. If this can break, and we're going to get a push right to here, and then this is the zone that's going to be the make it or break it. If we start coming down hard, Ethereum is most likely going to have another leg down to 17, 1800. But if we can break above this, Ethereum is at about 80% chance to make a new high, which is going to be very good for the cryptocurrency market. So with that being said, let's take a look at some lower time frames, and then we will wrap up the analysis for today. So looking at the 4-hour chart, we had a ascending triangle being formed, which is this right here. We had kind of a flat top, and we had a nice trend line holding the price, but it has broken out of it. But we can say that there is another trend line right here, and it could still be intact for a new forming ascending triangle, which is a bullish pattern. If that breakout can happen about 2900, we're going to see the push to 3200. So that is very good to see. And if we look at the indicators in the 4-hour chart, the RSI, the Stoch RSI is starting to come back up, which is a great sign. The RSI has revived off that low of 31. We're back to almost 50, which is also a very good sign. As we can see, when we're down here, price likes to drop a lot. When we're up here, price likes to move a lot. So our objective right now is to break this short-term trend line and to get above this 50 mark, which will unleash the Ethereum price and most likely many other altcoins. So with that being said, sit tight for a break of 2800, which would be a bullish move. And if we see a break under roughly 2300 again, it is going to be a bearish move, and there's a very good chance we're going to sweep lows and potentially make another low. So I hope you guys enjoyed that analysis on Ethereum. We'll be back at you next week with another video, and